powdered chicken, rendered chicken fat, powdered dead bird carcass. Like, I don't know what's wrong with the world. I seriously don't.
You don't have to be a highly intelligent person to be a great animal activist.
It is cruel. It is not a product that a vegan would or should ever buy and also advertise.
I didn't even finish high school, you know, and I haven't gone to university.
Okay, so this is not a mistake on Jenna's behalf here, and, you know, I'm calling her out with some tough love here because I do respect the girl a lot, and I am just super disappointed that she just bought it and she advertised it because it is watering down what vegan actually means.
And I say the same thing over and over and over again.
À-bas-le-ciel.
Freelee is wrong about Jenna Marbles. She's wrong. And no, I'm not here to defend Jenna Marbles. It's just you that she's a good vegan. On the contrary, what Freelee decided to do was to ignore the fact that Jenna Marbles is someone who buys animal flesh, someone who even consumes animal flesh in an economic sense of the word each and every day. What do I mean by that? If I go to the butcher and I pay for beef and then I don't eat it, let's just say I take it and flush it down the toilet. Just cut out the middleman here. Why bother chewing it, digesting it, and excreting it? Let's just say I go to the butcher and I buy beef, then I flush it down the toilet. You know what? All of the impacts are exactly the same, except for the impacts on my personal health. I'm still paying for someone else to kill a cow. I'm still paying for the factory farming infrastructure and economy to carry on and on. I'm paying for the continuation of, however you want to think of it, the ecological disaster, the animal holocaust, the unending exploitation of animals, for new animals to be bred into this world and live their whole lives in captivity under a steel shed on a concrete floor with a cage all around them, being constantly impregnated, exploited, and executed. It doesn't matter if I personally don't eat it. If I go and buy a bag of beef from the butcher and flush it down the toilet, all the other impacts are the same. And you know what Jenna Marbles is doing? Each and every day, she's paying a human being to kill other animals so she can take that meat and feed it to her dogs.
Well, well, well. Hello, baby. One day you here, and then you're gone.
She has a whole team of pet dogs. How many turkeys do you think die every year to feed those dogs? How many pigs do you think die every year to feed those dogs? How many cows and how many sheep?
Mama put me out at only 14, so I started selling crack, cocaine, and codeine. Time to stack some paper. I gotta do it quick. They think that I'm a juvenile, but they don't know who they're messing with. Yeah, my mama's only son, but I live every day like it's my motherfucking last one. Every nigga and their mama ask me why, but I'm in the game, live by the game, and in the game I'ma die.
How many other mammals have to die every year just so Jenna Marbles can keep on entertaining herself with her favorite living toy? I don't know what the answer is, but I know that it's plural. I know that it's more than one, and I know that it's more than none. And let me tell you something. Just one would be too many. And if you disagree, or if you think you disagree, just take a moment to go through this thought experiment. Would you keep a cow in your own backyard and raise it for years just so that one day you could go out and cut its throat, chop it up into pieces, and feed it to your pet dogs.
If I die, or should I say, if I go, bury me in arm plump next to the common goat. Cause tomorrow ain't promised to me. The only thing promised to a player is the penitentiary. So I'ma take care of my business on the smooth tip. I'll watch my back, selling crack and back to clips. And when you think about that, you say it'll be on as a tripping here today, but the next day you're gone.
Would you keep a revolving door of sheep in your backyard, where every so often you go and buy a new sheep, then you keep them in your backyard eating grass for a few months, so you could go out in the backyard and suffocate that sheep to death and cut it up into little pieces to feed to your dogs, your cats, whatever kind of carnivorous animal it is you're keeping? Why would you do that? Maybe one day you'd go out in the backyard and you'd look at the sheep and you'd look at your dog and you'd say, this does not make sense. It would make more sense for me to kill the dog and let this sheep live eating my grass for the rest of its life. It would make more sense for me to just switch from treating the dog as the pet to treating the sheep as a pet. The actual knock-on consequence of that would be much, much less. But you know the real philosophical next step is to stop regarding animals as toys for human entertainment at all. Is to see that really what you're doing in keeping an animal in captivity for your own quote-unquote enjoyment is actually something bad and evil and sick and wrong. And now, guys, I'm going to press the play button on a little edited video that I made and uploaded earlier. I still get hate mail about this video to this day. Literally today, I received hate mail several pages long. And some of the hate mail comes from vegans who want to make the excuse that it's completely morally pure to kill animals like cows and pigs, as long as you're not the one eating it. As long as you're taking that meat and flushing it down the toilet, or you're taking that meat and feeding it to your cat and dog. I get hate mail from vegans, and I also oddly get hate mail from carnivores, from meat eaters, who seem to be all the more motivated to justify the evil of their daily life, when instead of seeing themselves as the beneficiary, they see their own household pets as such.
One day you're here, baby, and then you're gone. The next day you're gone. One day you're here, baby, and then you're gone. One day you're here, baby, and then you're gone. The next day you're gone. One day you're here, baby, and then you're gone. This world we living in, man, it ain't nothing but drama. Everyone wanna harm you. In New York, niggas getting jumper palmers. Now they got your life in the palm, but they in like California. Niggas with dubs of hydroponic, marijuana, gang banging got the ghetto hotter than a sauna. Down in North, my nigga Box died on the corner behind the funky ass dice game. I saw him once before he died, wish it was twice, man. I remember being AD, bumping Chucky crib. They let us act bad, not giving a fuck what we did. When I lost him, I knew the world was coming to an end, and I had to quit letting that devil push me to a sin. My brother being in the pen for them near 10, but now it look like when it come out, man, I'm going in. So shit, I walk around with my mind blown in my own fucking zone, cause one day you're here, the next day you're gone. One day you're here, baby, yeah, and then you're gone. The next day you're gone. One day you're here, baby, yeah, and then you're gone. I'm a birdie, cause ain't enough light in the daytime. Smoke too sweet and throw these chickens on the
Kurt, you know you can't have this food.
My boulder smolder on a big pipe. My AK loaded as I get
What are you doing?
Niggas be looking shy, so I look shy back.
That's my foot. You sat on my foot. So yeah, that concludes a full 24 hours with Kermit, while I recorded every time he was crying or being nasty. So, what did we learn today, Kermit?
My world of truth, you can ask Bumby, bitch, I ain't no liar. My man Bo Buck just lost his baby in the house fire. And when I got on my knees that night to pray, pray. I ask God how you let these killers live and take my homeboy son away. Man, if you got to show you love them, cause God just might call them wrong. Cause one day they here, maybe the next day they gone.